Hello, it's been a minute.
Oh, yeah, it has.
So let's go ahead and catch up on everything related to the Elephant Money ecosystem, especially the recent changes to Trunk. So let's get into it.
Yo, appreciate your time and just know that I'm SK CryptoK, and today you should join my crypto club. Maybe by the end earn some dividends, so in advance I'ma thank you right now for that sub. Hey! Yo, let's go.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is SK CryptoK, and before we get started, allow me to preface everything by saying that I am not a financial advisor and these are for entertainment and informational purposes only. So when it comes to the Elephant Money ecosystem and this number you see on the screen right now, the 103.5 million, this is now a number that Bertha is going to slaughter.
Wait a minute, I like the number 103.5 million. Why would Bertha do that?
Because this is the current Trunk supply, and Trunk token has gone through some major changes to not only become fixed supply, but also deflationary. And this is primarily because Trunk has now been streamlined, where your Stampede accounts, as well as what used to be your farms, have now been deprecated, and they no longer emit Trunk out of thin air as a reward. So if you're watching this and you still happen to have a position in the farms, you can just go ahead on down to the one that you're in and withdraw all of those funds. There are no taxes or withdrawal fees, and then you can do as you please with either of those tokens. And then if you happen to be in Stampede, just make sure you go down to the Stampede button, and if you were in the latest version of Stampede, you should have an option that says transfer to Trumpet.
Why on earth would these changes happen? What do you mean? I liked my farms. I liked my Stampede.
It's okay. Calm down. Don't worry. This is for the betterment of the ecosystem. Because let's face it, farms and Stampede weren't really doing much for the last year that they've been out. And with these new changes and BT's mission to renounce the keys to Bertha, this streamlines everything to where there's never a situation that he has to come back and make changes. For example, we don't know what regulators are going to do with any of these tokens that are in the farms currently, which we know BUSD has already been discontinued on centralized exchanges. But what's to stop that from happening to USDT or USDC or Binance even making changes to Bitcoin Binance or the Ethereum version of these? What if they went to a version 2? And then if this was renounced, BT would have no way of coming in to adjust this. And let's not forget either that the rewards were inflationary, being minted, same as Stampede. So all in all, what these changes mean is that Bertha has less liabilities to pay for ultimately. And don't get me wrong, Elephant token is going to do what it does, and Bertha's going to supply shock as well, and we very well would have seen a $1 Trunk, and all of these systems would have played out just fine. But the key is reducing liabilities for Bertha. So by having her not have to focus on an inflationary model, this new version is far more efficient.
Okay, I think I follow you, but what about this whole Terminator Bertha slaughtering all the Trunk supply?
That is a good question. So there was already a portion of Bertha's outflow that was going towards PEG support, which bought Trunk, minted Trumpet, and then burned that Trumpet. This in conjunction with the redemption queue, which is also discontinued, those Bertha outflows are now going to be consolidated and will do nothing but buy and burn. Now, at the time of this recording, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but if I had to guess, majority of that Bertha outflow is going to go to buying the Trunk token and burning it specifically to drop this supply number. And another smaller portion of it will continue to buy that Trunk, mint it into Trumpet, and then burn that Trumpet to keep that price going up. So at the time of this change, this Trunk to Trumpet price was about 2.2, and now it has already gone up to 2.5 because of the millions that have traveled in to this contract. And because all of that Stampede balance has been unlocked and gone into this contract, that also means that if people choose to sell, they can redeem their Trumpet for Trunk. 5% will be collected on the way out, and this Trumpet price will go up. Now, this also means that Trunk price is going to be very volatile. However, Long term, this is bullish.
I don't know, SK. What is it about a 10-cent trunk makes you bullish?
Well, that's easy. Trunk is no longer considered a stable coin, another regulatory thing that BT gets to avoid now. And it's all because Trunk being fixed supply and a deflationary asset via being burned, Trunk theoretically can go well past $1.
Whoa, what? You mean like $2?
Yeah, or $10.
Or anything wild that you can speculate. But the idea is that it can. And ultimately, that's amazing because now, while BT has been approached by centralized exchanges for years, asking for Elephant token to be added to the exchange, he always had to say no. And that's because Elephant token has a 10% in and out fee that they would not be able to accommodate for, right? We need that fee for Bertha. But Trunk token is a completely different ball game. There are no fees attached to Trunk. They can easily reside on centralized exchanges, and now they will act like a billboard advertising elephant.money to the masses on centralized exchanges who otherwise never would have seen us.
And that's a big deal.
And while the people who wanted to get out of Trunk are already out after it got unlocked out of Stampede, people who wanted to dump and get out were able to do so. But as the buyback and burns of the Trunk token occur over time, and this could take a year or two, who knows? But the people who want to get out will. And the Trunk token will follow in the path that Elephant token blazes first. So remember, the buyback and burns coming out of Bertha come from a healthy sized Bertha, which right now she's at 195 trillion tokens. But it's the dollar value that matters more. So soon enough, as Elephant token starts a supply shock, Bertha's dollar value supply shocks, and then the daily buybacks and burns of Trunk get larger and larger. So you will see a lot of volatility on this Trunk chart since there are so many millions of Trunk in supply. Do not ever forget that, but it is going to be an interesting journey for these next couple years.
But there's no fees collected on Trunk token. So this is just going to be whale games, isn't it?
Yep.
And this is going to do nothing to actually feed Bertha.
Nope.
But Bertha is going to feed it. And again, the centralized exchanges is the key here, and the deflationary aspect is the most bullish part about the Trunk token nowadays. Also with the Trunk token, there is going to be a new liquidity pair of Trunk BNB, which is even more bullish for the protocol. And recently the buyback bots have been turned off. And so for the last week, you've seen Bertha just kind of freeze where she hasn't spent anything and she hasn't bought anything for herself. But as BT adds all of these buyback and burn and MEV bot protections and all this forward thinking upgrades to the ecosystem,
You best believe that Bertha is about to eat real good with all of that money that's being stored up.
and we can take a look at the yield tab on the futures page just to see that there is $997,000 that is ready to buy Elephant token and stuff into Bertha.
Oh my gosh, there's only $3,000 left before we hit 1 million.
Yep. That's gonna happen soon.
But yeah, that pretty much covers all the changes that have happened to Trunk. Stay tuned to the main Elephant Money Telegram for all the latest. Otherwise, just continue to focus on everything else in the ecosystem as well, because we are in an accumulation phase. Bertha continues to eat. And even despite all of the sell pressure that has happened since the beginning of October, the fundamentals of the ecosystem are working exactly as they should. Because as I've said in my other videos, volatility on the Elephant token is very healthy for the ecosystem. And over the course of these last couple of months, Bertha has gone from that 175 trillion all the way up to 195 trillion tokens. So when you couple the fact that she's about to break past 200 trillion and eventually get to breaking her previous all-time high of 212 trillion, this ultimately means there are less tokens in the hands of human holders who can get scared and panic sell.
But you know who doesn't panic sell?
Bertha?
You damn right.
So, not financial advice, but I would continue to build a moon bag while elephant prices are this cheap and also BNB is this cheap. Don't forget, Binance just had a $4.3 billion settlement. CZ has stepped down and his right-hand man has taken over.
So in my opinion, Binance has a very bright future.
And you're going to want to accumulate as much BNB, Elephant token, Elephant Money Unlimited NFTs as you can before the inevitable BNB
God candle.
Ooh, what do you mean?
I am talking about the inevitability of the upcoming bull run, and the BNB coin is going to do some interesting numbers, which my boy Crypto Slow talks about. So don't forget that Elephant Money is built upon the house of BNB. And as this protocol has both an elephant token paired with BNB and now a trunk token paired with BNB, what happens when this protocol is the #1 holder of all BNB on chain? Keeping in mind that Binance burns the supply of BNB, and as we gobble up more of that coin, we supply shock BNB price eventually. Then you couple that with the fact of Berthanomics and the elephant token supply shocking within its own wheelhouse, you get a supply shock within a supply shock effect. That's likely to take this protocol far beyond what anybody can even imagine right now. Don't forget, as you each one teach one, that we are incredibly early on this, which is why we are at a supply adjusted $15.85 Bitcoin equivalent. So don't sleep on that. And also understand that you are incredibly early on these NFTs at only 2 BNB a pop. Now, there are about 7,800 some odd NFTs that are left in round 2 before we double our price into round 3. But just keep in mind that BNB price is still considered cheap. And much like having bought the elephant token in the first 8 months of its existence, when people were wondering, why am I holding this token? The same thing is going to happen with the NFTs. Before you know it, the value proposition of the NFTs are going to kick you in the mouth. And just like the elephant token did, people could not get enough once it popped off. And all the folks who were in early are sitting still, well above a 100x from the all-time low of June 2021. So if you don't want to be that guy, do your research on the NFTs and understand the future value proposition is immense here. And then lastly, before we go, I just wanted to point out that futures has been acting fantastic for everybody as well. And even despite any of the sell pressure and the people who don't have the stomach for the elephant chart, we have seen the largest deposit days in futures ever since the volatility on that chart happened. These last 2 months, we've had one day a $1 million deposit total go into the futures contract. And then even more recently, on December 5th, we had a $733,000 deposit day. So with daily deposits far outweighing any of the daily withdrawals, this system with the 90% of the incoming funds hitting the multiplicative effect of Bertha has just proven to be beyond solvent. So that system of 90% of the incoming future funds buying elephant token for Bertha, coupled in with the NFT 100% of the funds going in to buy elephant for Bertha, coupled with the actual fees that are collected when you buy the elephant token and how that feeds Bertha, you have a trifecta of product market fit and why this Elephant Money ecosystem is a juggernaut. This is an incredible time to be in Elephant Money. I hope all of you are having as much of a blast with it as I am, and using the content that is out there in the Wikipedia to sharpen your skills on your own each one teach one, because nothing at Elephant Money has changed, folks. This protocol's success is inevitable, and you shouldn't forget that. So that's all I have for this video, folks. If you enjoyed it, then please smash that like button and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And if you vibe with me and would like to join my Telegram community, then please find the link below. And as always, until next time, folks, please stay safe out there, stay blessed, and make good choices with your crypto.
Yeah, that was a good one, SK. I'm bullish, man. I don't know what to buy right now. Trunk? NFTs? Futures?
I know, there's a lot to diversify within the ecosystem. Take your pick, can't really go wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. SK CryptoK, baby. The baby's optional.
What?